Lolly Unicorn asks, what is your favorite saxophone song, and please play it?
Well, sure, here it is. Hello, everybody. My name is Aidan, and you're in my dungeon. A week ago from the release of this video, my first ever video on this channel came out, and I opened up the comment section for you guys to ask questions for me to answer. If you haven't seen that video, you can go check it out in the pop-up that appears right now. I'm going to answer those questions for you today. Let's dive in.
Back to the question at the start of the video. Lolly Unicorn asks, what is your favorite saxophone song, and please play it?
To answer your question, I've really been digging Confirmation by Charlie Parker as of late, but I don't think I can play it right now due to copyright reasons. So maybe I'll license it and play it on the channel in the future. As for right now, here's a blues lick to tide you over.
Mitchell Hinderer asks, who is your smash man?
King DDD.
Taylor asks, Texas State Jazz Etudes?
Texas State's jazz audition for saxophone consists of playing either the melody to Donna Lee or Anthropology, improvising over either Billy's Bounce or There Will Never Be Another You, and sight reading something. To answer what I think you were trying to ask though, yes, I'll be auditioning for All Region Jazz and hopefully All State Jazz.
Edwin Garcia asks, how old are you?
17.
I'm going to answer two questions in one with this one. Noe Morin asks, what is your current saxophone setup? And Spaghettylicious asks, what reed strength do you use?
My current setup is a 1976 Selmer Mark VII. I really like it. My mouthpiece is a Selmer Claude DeLong that I got about a week ago, and I use Leger reeds, size 3.25. For my ligature, I use a rose gold plated BG Tradition.
Jacob Saxophone Blank asks, do you meditate?
It's really interesting that you should ask that. So, I actually recently started meditating after being inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender's release on Netflix, and I found it to be useful for a number of things. There's a lot of things you can find on the internet about why meditation's good for you, but one of the things I've noticed in particular is it helps me focus during practicing, especially long tones, which I highly recommend. Do them. Meditating is all about breathing in, breathing out, and focusing on that. And it's not that different to focus on breathing in and then just breathing out through the saxophone. I often find that after the end of my 10 minutes of long tones every day, I end up in that peaceful meditative state. Great question, Jacob Saxophone Blank.
Lego Alex 93 asks, how long can you hold out a double G on trumpet?
Let's find out, shall we? No. Of course I'm gonna try that for real. Here we go. About that long.
Team Triumph asks, where do you live?
I live with my parents.
Triple G says, what's up, Aiden? It's me, Gino. Great video. My question for you is, who is your favorite junior saxophone that quit last year?
First of all, thanks. Glad you liked it. Second of all, you know it's you, man.
Patrick Cannon asks, what state do you live in? Have you made All-State Band? To which Bob Ross replies, Texas and yes.
Well, Bob Ross, you're correct. I live in Texas, and I made All-State in 2019.
Come to think of it, Bob Ross has some other comments on here. It looks like they're mostly all replies to other people's questions. I wonder if they're all as helpful and accurate as that one.
Looks like they are.
Patrick Cannon also asks, do you plan on majoring in music in college? Francisco Garcia asks, what would you want to study in college if you were to go? And Maynard Draniam asks, where do you plan on going to college?
Well, this seems to be one you guys are interested in. First, yes, I do plan on going to college. Second, yes, I also do plan to study music. Third, well, you see, that's the tricky one. I've known Dr. Oxford from Texas State since the summer before my 8th grade year, but I haven't done much research into their jazz program, and I don't know a whole lot about it yet. Additionally, I've had a private lesson from Dr. Page up at UT at Austin, but it's the same case where I don't know a whole lot about their jazz program. Most recently, I attended a virtual summer camp up at IU with Dr. Murphy and Dr. Walsh, and it seems like the most balanced school so far. All that is to say though, I haven't really decided yet.
Mean Mr. Musician asks, have you heard of / do you like Wolfpack?
Before you commented, I had not heard of Wolfpack, but a quick Google search was able to shed some light onto them and what they sound like, and I gave them a listen while planning this video. I have to say, it was a very fun listening experience.
Bailey Dove asks, what is your favorite sax? Three Presidents asks, rank the 4 main saxes from best to worst.
Well, Bailey, it looks like Gino does not owe you $10. My favorite sax is the Barry. As for the other 3, alto, soprano, tenor.
Drew Wilson says, 100th sub, let's go.
Nice.
Anthony Macias asks, where do you get the Flight of the Bumblebee music? By the way, I subscribed and liked.
First of all, thanks. Glad to have you on the channel. Unfortunately though, I don't think you're gonna like the answer to your question very much. There are lots of different versions for lots of different instruments of Flight of the Bumblebee on the internet, but for my version, I just kinda played it by ear. Just kinda played what felt right. My version sounds like this. What? You thought I was going to play it now? Flight of the Bumblebee reveal at 1,000 subs.
April asks, how many saxophones do you have? Also, I really hope to see you at State this year.
I have 3 saxophones, 2 altos, and a soprano. And yes, best of luck on your audition. Let's hope State doesn't get cancelled.
Hollow06 asks, what's your practice routine?
That's a great question, Hollow06. In fact, it is so good that I plan on doing an entire video on it. You can expect that in about a couple weeks or so. Hope to see you there.
Oh, looks like Bob Ross has another question. Aidan, please do a review on Dim Mendini mouthpieces.
Send me a mouthpiece, and I'll review it on the channel.
Michael DeStegosaurus asks, what's your favorite type of bread?
Brown bread from the County Line Barbecue.
Dr. Quantoctagon says, the legend has returned. Keep on doing the Mario, man.
I plan on it.
Joseph99 says, this kid is an absolute mega chad.
I know. Thanks, man.
Apple Person asks, how often do you ask yourself, can you play Flight of the Bumblebee, and then follow it up by a long, awkward stare at yourself? Great to see you doing this. I think it's awesome of you to be sharing your skill with others.
If I had a nickel for every time it happened, I'd have, well, 5 cents.
Micah Mazzella asks, who's your largest classical influence?
My private lesson teacher, Billy McPhail, has been by my side through all the good and the bad stuff that's happened throughout my saxophone career. If not for him, my saxophone career itself might be slowed down even as far as a halt. So I'd say yes, he's probably been my biggest classical influence.
Josh Dweber asks, how did the viral Flight of the Bumblebee video affect your musical journey, if at all, in terms of motivation, perfectionism, and curiosity? He also asks, what are your passions outside of saxophone?
Well, Josh, when that video first started circulating the internet, it was really cool. Lots of people started recognizing my name and likeness in lots of different places. And the comments, frankly, were just hilarious. My motivation definitely went up, maybe not in the way you might think. There were a lot of comments saying that the Flight of the Bumblebee was the only thing I could play, and that started to irritate me just a bit. So I started learning more fun, more challenging, cooler sounding pieces to put on the internet, but I was never able to attract the same amount of publicity that a big old company like Flow Marching could. In terms of perfectionism and curiosity, while those things pretty much stayed the same all throughout the whole ordeal. Outside of saxophone playing, I love messing with technology. I built this gaming PC a few years ago, and I do so much stuff on it. I game, I edit videos, like this one, and I even run a small Minecraft server on an old media PC as well. My most recent technology endeavor was probably going up in the attic and spending 3 days up there running Cat 6 through my walls. It's a lot of effort, but my connection is so nice and buttery fast now.
And the last comment of the day, we have Govinda Siddhartha, who says, life is like a trick shot. You never know when you're going to score.
That pretty much sums up my entire saxophone career.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you today. Slap tongue like right now if you like this video, and subscribe to see more content like this. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.